Hey everyone, Brew here, and today we're going to talk about the Blender Arena team. So what is the Blender team? Blender team consists of 4 specific champions that each and every one of them fills a specific role. First up, it's going to be the leader slot. Who's going to be in the leader slot? Ideally, it will be a champion like Arbiter who has a speed aura. Why you need speed aura? Because speed is king in the arena. Fastest goes first. The one who goes first nukes first and wins. With goal, if your goal is to win, which it should be because you want to max out that great hole. Let's quickly look at my great hole and see that farming great hole is very important. See, I'm getting to almost all gold there. It's not level 10, but I'm getting there. Having a high win percentage as well as farming it really quick means you save time and also make the best choices for your champions in maxing out their great hole. You give them more permanent bonuses. So we talked about the speed aura. What else does the leader need? Ideally, the leader would also have a skill that boosts turn meter. So Arbiter has that 30% speed boost, and she also provides an attack up buff. So she fills the role perfectly, and ideally she is currently the best one for the role in the Blender setup. Other alternatives could be Apothecary, who does not provide, unfortunately, any attack up. Gorgorav, who does provide an attack up but a smaller speed boost. We also have Seeker, who also provides a speed boost but has no speed aura. So there are alternatives to people who do not have this Arbiter, but Arbiter is available to everyone who finishes the missions. So she should ideally be in your team. So next up, we're going to have an all ally attack champion. So currently I only have one that can fill this role, and it is Catacomb Counselor. His role is just that. Go second right after Arbiter and just make everyone attack with their basic skills. That's it, basically. That's what I need him to do. He does not do anything else. His speed is very, very high, like 249. So he's my second highest in that team. And Arbiter is at 325. So she goes first. She boosts 30% of that turn meter. So 249 multiplied by 30%, he's almost guaranteed to go second unless the enemy team has a very fast member in their team. The third most important part of this team, guys, is the nuke part. You want to finish your fights very fast. How do you do that? With 2 nukers. Ideally, both of the nukers will have very strong basic skills. Their default skills, their A1, will do an AoE damage. So Skull Crown and Sinesha both have that. They fill that role perfectly, and both of them also synergize with each other. So what Skull Crown does is she attacks with her A1, her default skill, and whenever the enemy is above 50% health, let's quickly find her. So whenever the enemy is above 50% health, she will do an extra hit. That's amazing for this kind of setup. She will ideally bring the targets down to 50 or less percent, and when that happens, we have Sinesha, who will fill the role of just killing off the target because she places an extra hit on enemies with less than 50%. So both of them together are an amazing duo. All 4 champions together, amazing team to farm those masteries. But enough with the talk. I'll show you what the team does and how fast I can farm the 10 teams that I have against me currently in the arena. We're currently in high gold 4. We're gonna be farming those teams that are possibly with good gear and also very close to platinum since it's still Tuesday. If you're looking for a guide for Sinesha and Skullcrown, I have already released them on my channel. They're the previous videos I released this week, so you should check them out. So guys, now I'm gonna show you how fast I can farm with this team. These teams are not that difficult, but they do die very fast with this setup. I did a recording of this video before, but the video stuck, so I dropped in arena since then. So I'm just doing it in this arena bracket. The previous one I did was at around 3,400. So 10-second fights going, guys. You're gonna see how this team basically farms arena. So we've got Arbiter boosting, then we have Catacomb Counselor just doing his mass ally attack, and then both my Skull Crown and Sinesha just do their thing and just kill the enemy. So the important thing here, guys, if you notice, is that I have Skull Crown here and Sinesha here. This is very important. So if I switch their places around, so I had Sinesha there and Skull Crown, I'll put it on 1x and you'll see what happens. This is very wrong when you're trying to do this setup, because put it on 1x, you're gonna see Sinesha go first and then Skull Crown, which is very bad for your team. Look, we didn't even manage to kill this team. So I'm gonna exit now just to show you the difference. The reason is Sinesha needs to go second after Skull Crown. So Skull Crown needs to attack the enemies when they are 50% and over. So she needs to go first doing her AoE attack through the ally attack, and placing the champions is very important. So you see that we didn't manage to kill them. Our team is very solid. So if we just switch the places around and put Skullcrow there and then Sinesha in the last spot, gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna change anything, and you're gonna see Skullcrown go first with her ally attack. So Arbiter is gonna go, then Skullcrown. There we go. You see how much better this was. So it's a way better setup to make Skullcrown go first. You abuse how their A1 works for both Skullcrown and Sinesha, and it basically, this is what makes the blender setup so much fun. I've actually even seen 2 Skullcrown setups. I have a second Skullcrown, so I'm thinking of it, but yeah, I'm just having fun with the Sinesha right now. So it's a crazy good setup to farm those gold medals. Farm them, make your great hole as high as you can. Of course, there's a burnout there in just farming arena all day long, but if you have a fast team and fights go for like 10 seconds, like you see here, you don't really care what the enemy has, and you just go in and you beat them. So Molly's just gonna revive. It's fine. Arbiter's gonna revive actually right now. So I don't think we should have an issue here, because Sinesha will probably just kill them off when she takes a turn right now. Even with the A1. There we go. At least Rotos died. So that was very important. See, even this tanky team, I would have beaten it if I had like immunity sets. So a very good alternative for the gear sets that I've shown on this champions. Of course, I made videos on them before, but very good alternatives are immunity sets. The reason is you just resist any kind of debuffs that are applied to you in the first 2 turns that the champions make. And since these champions will just do an ally attack, well, yeah, they won't lose that buff. So we're already having some issues here. Let's take it off auto. The problem was just the 2 revivers there. Let's boost Sinesha and just hope she can kill them off. I think we should be fine. Now with Sinesha, there we go. Okay, this was a weird team, but we managed to beat it. So let's just keep farming. You see how fast you farm the teams. Imagine like having 10 medals the start of your day. You take a couple of minutes with this team and that's it. 10 coins used, 40 medals ideally, so 10 wins. Amazing. So you do that 2 times a day. That's 80 metals a day. So times 7. That's a crazy amount of medals you can farm every single day, and you're gonna reach a great hole similar to mine. So the great hole is gonna be looking gold the more fights you do. So yeah, this is what I do, guys, to farm those arena medals. This is very important for me, at least, to farm that great hole. It's permanent bonuses to all my champions, so farming it very fast, it just saves me time. I have more time to do videos, so I love this setup. I'm just trying to improve my champions the best way I can. So here's Skullcrown with hair gear. Here's Sinesha. Where is she? Yeah, here's Sinesha. Other alternatives for this new king champion is anything that does an A1 AoE with the default skills. So you can even do Azora's and Sister Militant if you're crazy enough. I have them. I might do a video in the future depending on the comments down below. So if you do want to see that, like a blender setup with Sora's and Sister Militant, just leave it down below in the comments. Other alternatives, guys, for AoE champions is any champion that does an A1 with an AoE. So even Cubitus can do that. So attacks all enemies. Damage increased by 15% if the target has any debuffs. So let's do a fight with him in there, since I have him already with some DPS gear. Of course, he's way better when you've got something like a Venus in there, because she gives him tremendous amount of buffs. But let's just go in with him instead of Sinesha. He should just give a very similar result with his kind of DPS. So Mountain King there alive. I'm not really surprised by that, since most Mountain Kings have at least 80,000 health. So we go and against the next team. Again, just abuse any champions that have an A1 that does an AoE. But of course, Sinesha has that synergy with Skullcrown, Skull Crown gains that extra ability to revive. So if you have them, you can use them and do the blender setup. Or if you want to go crazy, you get 2 Skull Crowns and just go crazy. So yeah, this is going a bit longer, but it's probably because of Cubitus. So 30 seconds to farm this team. Overall, a great way to farm those medals. Other alternatives for mass ally attack champions, of course, we have in the where is she? She's okay, well, of course we have the skinwalkers. We've got Longbeard, who provides an additional 20%. I do believe Longbeard is the best one that also gives an ally attack, since it's 20% extra damage to your DPSers. So instead of like 20,000, they're gonna do 24,000 times the double hits. It's a great amount of damage, and he can also be used for something like a clan boss. So if you get Longbeard, you can definitely use the blender setup. Another good alternative is yeah, there we go, Lanakis the Chosen. She has a nice increase the critical rate and increase attack buff on all allies, but this does not give you the extra turn always, so she's not up to par. I mean, you cannot benefit from this always and count on this, so you can run your champions with 70% crit, but her mass ally attack does give everyone fills the turn meters by 30% and extend the duration of ally buffs by 1 turn. So you have also that going if you get Lanakis and want to try this setup. But I think, in my opinion, the worst of the ally attacks, but he still does the job perfectly. So Catacomb Counselor, I have him just for the Army of Death, the mass attack. So that's the only reason to have him. Of course, the speed boosters, I mentioned it before, Gorgrab with the speed lead, the speed boost, and the buff, sorry, yeah, his A2 speed boost and the buff. We also have Seeker that does a very similar thing, but he does not have a leader aura, but he does fills the ally turn meters by 30% and increase attack buff on all allies. So a fantastic 2 champions to have that are very budget. So guys, thanks a lot for watching this video on the blender setup for the arena. If you like this video, if you use a different setup for the just the blender team, just leave it down in the comments and tell me how quickly you farm the arena teams. So as you saw, my farming with this is extremely fast. This was my goal in building both of these champions with high DPS, very slow speeds, because they do not benefit at all from the speed. So very slow speed, focus on attack, critical rate, critical damage. But here you're gonna see what happens when you fight a Torment. So as I said, immunity sets can be very beneficial to everyone, of course, except Arbiter. So you put them in immunity sets, this won't happen. Nobody will get frozen. And nobody will get a provoke on them. So this would have been a perfect win instead of just losing like most of my characters. So look at that. Sinesha might be able to attack, but I don't think she'll be able to do anything. She's frozen. So this is the weakness of the team if you don't have an immunity set. But if you do, you can just beat them and see. Crowd control after crowd control. I haven't even taken a turn with the immunity sets. If Arbiter couldn't remove them, then my champions would be just fine and I wouldn't have lost my medals. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you like this video, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.